Like our best PMs do this, where we'll get in some long conversation about like, should the UI be this or that? And before our designers have even like picked up their Figma, like often our PMs or sometimes our engineers will be like, great, I prompted Claude, I did like an A/B comparison of what these two UIs could look like, let's try them. And I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And like, play that out, and like we'll be able to prototype much, like a far greater variety and evaluate like on a much faster scale than before. So like that skill of like using these tools to actually be in prototyping mode, I think is a really, really useful one.
That's a good one. I would also, you sort of said this, but I think it's also going to push PMs to go deeper into the tech stack.
Yeah.
Because it's, and maybe that changes over the years. Like if you were doing like database tech in, I don't know, 2005, maybe it required you to be able to go really deep in a different way than it would if you were doing database tech now. Like layers of abstraction get built and you maybe don't need to know all the fundamentals. But it's not like every PM needs to be a researcher by any means, but I think having an appreciation for it, spending time and learning the language and gaining intuition for how this stuff works a little bit, I think will go a long way.
I think the other piece, like you're dealing with this like stochastic non-deterministic system, which like evals are our best attempts to do it, but like product design in a world where like you're not in control of what the model is going to say. You can try, and so like what are the feedback mechanisms that you need to close that loop? Like how do you decide when like the model's gone astray? How do you collect that feedback in a rapid way? You know, like what are the guardrails you want to put in? Like how do you even know what it's doing in aggregate? Like it's a much more like you're understanding like the output of this intelligence across a lot of outputs over a lot of people every single day. It just requires a very different set than like, oh, the bug report is you clicked on the button and didn't follow the user. It's like, that's a pretty knowable kind of problem.
Right, and maybe this will change, you know, 5 years from now when people are used to it, but I think we're all still in the mode of adapting to this sort of non-deterministic user interface ourselves. And certainly people who are not, you know, tech people here in this room working on tech products who are using AI are definitely not used to it. Like it goes against all of the intuition that we've built up for the last like 25 years of using computers. And so like the idea that you're going to put in the exact same things, normally if you put in the exact same inputs, computers give you the exact same outputs, and that is no longer true. And it's not just that we have to adapt to it building products, we have to also put ourselves in the shoes of the people who are using our products and think about what this means for them.